What's up guys? So in this video we're going to be covering 4 growth stocks. Wait, what? I can't talk about Tesla. So like I was saying, 3 high growth stocks that you should be watching right now, and most of these you probably never heard of being talked about before, yet they offer some massive opportunities. So I wanted to make sure to share them with you guys so that you don't miss out. So let's do it, and make sure to stay till the very end for a special surprise. So the markets have been on an absolute tear lately, unlike this dude's balls, which are clearly made of steel.
Yeah! Whoa! Yeah!
Anyways, the markets have been almost impenetrable to bad news of any kind, and that point was only reinforced this week with the Nasdaq hitting record highs, which is mind-blowing considering everything that's going on in the world right now. So a lot of people are worried if this is beginning to look like a bubble, and it might very well end up being one, but I'm not worried at all. In fact, I sleep real good at night. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're a long-term investor and you're investing in companies that you truly believe in and that have the potential to double, triple, or even quadruple, if not more, over the next couple of years, then what does it matter what happens in the short term? If it dips, great, that means they're on sale, just buy some more. This is why I always recommend only investing money that you don't need to use for anything else anytime soon. This helps take the emotion out of investing and helps make you a better investor. And this is the mindset that I want to instill in all of you guys. And another major fundamental that I want to instill in all of you guys is to always smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm and turn it into a nice, beautiful, crisp shade of blue. No, but seriously, it would absolutely mean the world to me, and it really does help the channel grow. Plus, it just feels good. So good.
Defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
So with that being said, all of the growth stocks that I'll be covering in this video have the potential for huge gains over the next couple of years. And all of these are all stocks that I'm watching right now, and stocks that I might buy more of. So without further ado, the first stock, and the one that I don't hear being talked about at all on YouTube, which doesn't really surprise me because it trades on the European exchange and it just IPO'd a little bit over a year ago, so it's relatively new to the public markets. But it is an absolute beast, and that company is Adyen. Ticker symbol ADYEY. Adyen is a Dutch payment technology company that allows businesses to accept e-commerce, mobile, and point-of-sale payments. And even though you likely haven't ever heard of them before, I can guarantee you that chances of them having processed a multitude of your payments without you even knowing it are sky high, because they collect payments for companies like Netflix, Uber, Spotify, and Facebook, just to name a few. Not to mention that they recently just signed an exclusive long-term contract with eBay, beating out in the process the mammoth of a company that is PayPal, which for many decades were handling the majority of payments made on eBay. So this was a major win for Adyen.
Win, 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 no matter what.
Now you may be wondering how a relatively unknown company is winning all of these massive contracts from some of the biggest companies in the world. And so what distinguishes Adyen and makes them so special when compared to their competitors is that they are combining all of the pieces of the payment puzzle into one. While most other companies handle only a small part of the payment process, Adyen handles the entire process, which has led to their quick surge in popularity because moving money from customers to merchants can be very complex and costly. That requires multiple systems and parties and several steps such as the payment gateway, processing, and risk management. And all this may sound confusing, but basically what it boils down to is that Adyen is helping these big companies make even more money. Yes, more money, by helping them expand internationally. And one of the ways they're doing this is that they have a huge network of relationships all around the world that allows them to now accept payments in over 187 currencies and with over 250 different payment methods. So because of this wide variety of payment methods and the unique way their data and machine learning are utilized to reduce potential risk and improve authorization rates for credit cards, On average, when companies switch to using Adyen's platform, they tend to see an increase of 2 to 4% of approved credit card payments, which may not sound like a lot of money, but when you are processing billions of dollars, 2 to 4% is a lot of money. Also, for those of you who may be wondering, I see Adyen as being a very different company than Square, which is another payment technology company that I invest in, because they both target very different markets. Adyen mostly does businesses with very large companies and is mostly a pure payment processor play, like Stripe is. Whereas Square targets mostly small to medium-sized businesses, and with its Cash App, it's seeking to replace banks altogether, which is a much different goal than Adyen has. Now let's talk numbers. Adyen's growth has been nothing short of spectacular. The amount of payments that they process on their platform has gone through the roof, from just 10 billion in 2012 to now over 240 billion at the end of 2019. And their net revenue went from 350 billion in 2018 to over 500 billion in 2019, which is a 42% growth year on year. And not to mention that their revenue has grown over 700% in the past 5 years alone. So clearly this is a fast growing, high growth company to the core. And with more and more people switching to online shopping and even brick and mortar customers paying less and less with cash, the payment industry as a whole is set to experience massive growth for many more years to come. But as always, I like to give you both sides of the equation, not just the positives but also the risk. So there are a good amount of risk in investing in a company like Adyen, one being that the competition in the payment industry continues to intensify and we see more and more new players constantly coming in. So Adyen has to continue to innovate to keep growing at such a fast pace. Also, this year alone, the stock price has risen almost 60% since the beginning of the year, now trading at around $27 and with a sky-high PE ratio of over 170, which is super high even for a growth stock. So I would recommend waiting for a pullback in the price before investing in this company. But with that being said, I definitely recommend adding them to your watch list because this is a company that still has tremendous room to grow over the next couple of years. Next up, we got Etsy, ticker symbol ETSY, another company that I don't see getting enough love, which makes no sense to me. It's like almost as confusing as someone not clicking the thumbs up button. Like what? Where'd they do that at? Now, if you're not familiar with Etsy, think of it like the Amazon of handmade and vintage goods. So the majority of the items that they sell on Etsy are handmade by the sellers themselves, which gives it more of a personal and unique vibe, since these aren't mass produced and a lot of them are actually one of a kind. Now, Etsy has a pretty small market cap of only about $9 billion, but for a relatively small business, they are doing some massive numbers. In the first quarter alone, even with everything going on in the world, they still had almost $1.4 billion in sales on their platform, up over 30% year over year. And revenues went up 35% to 228 million. Also, what really impresses me about Etsy is that it has been put to the test multiple times by its much larger competitors, primarily eBay and Amazon, who released Amazon Homemade way back in 2015, but it never really took off. And I think a large part of this is because of the really close relationship that Etsy has built with its sellers over the years. And a lot of their sellers are simply just happy selling on Etsy and not really interested in selling on other platforms, especially since their stuff is handmade, so it's not like they can just produce an unlimited amount of goods to sell anyways. Also, most consumers just don't think of Amazon when they're thinking of handmade custom goods. They think of Etsy. So there's really a lot to love about this stock, and I love the fact that they've been battle tested against the very best. Now, the one thing to keep in mind though is that the stock is trading at about $78, which is pretty close to their 52-week high of $88. Plus their PE ratio is also very high at over 100. So you may want to wait for a bit of a pullback, but honestly, if you plan on holding this stock for the long term, I don't think entering now will really be too much of a concern, because this is a company that can easily see 50 to 70% plus revenue growth year over year, for many years to come, in my opinion. And this is still a very untapped market with a ton of running room to go. So you should definitely add Etsy to your watch list. Now, the third growth stock on the list is a true definition of an absolutely category disruptive company, and that company is Illumina, ticker symbol ILMN. Now, this company is at the very epicenter of the genomic revolution, which is an area of biotech that can completely revolutionize forever how we diagnose and cure diseases. Imagine, instead of just treating illnesses, we actually just cure them. The go-to solution far too frequently nowadays, in my opinion, for many illnesses is just having to take a multitude of medication for long periods of time, or even for the rest of your life, just to hide or lessen symptoms, instead of just curing the actual problem. Now, I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound too appealing to me. So now imagine a world where if you have any bad genes in your body, you can just edit them away and poof, they're gone. No more cancer, no more heart problems, no more Alzheimer's, etc. But how? This has been made possible by technology which allows us to read and edit our DNA, which means we can permanently fix the underlying root cause of the diseases instead of just treating symptoms. And this is why this technology can absolutely disrupt the entire medical industry forever. And just for some perspective, in 2003, the Human Genome Project was completed, where the first full human genome was sequenced, and this was done at a cost of almost $3 billion, and it took over 13 years to complete. Now fast forward to today, the full human genome can be sequenced in under 24 hours and cost only about $800, which is just unfathomable just how huge of an improvement that is. And Illumina has played a huge role in driving down the cost and time that was required to sequence the human genome. And their machines are used to sequence 90%, yes, 90% of all the DNA that is sequenced worldwide, making them the market leader. And it's not even close. We're talking about a straight up monopoly at this point. So clearly their technology is absolutely incredible and second to none. But let's get into the numbers. In 2019, they generated over $3.5 billion in revenue. And keep in mind that they have tremendous gross margins of 70% with 28% operating margins. That left over $1 billion in net income, which is incredible. But what really excites me is what ARK Invest, which is a big investment firm that makes a living off investing in disruptive companies, said. They said that they are predicting that as costs decline, the number of human genomes sequenced per year could increase from 2.6 million genomes in 2019 to over 105 million in 2024, which is a 40x increase in just 5 years. Among the reasons for this prediction is the huge potential in clinical oncology, which can use sequencing to find tumor-derived blood fragments circulating in the bloodstream so that they can be identified and then use this information to match patients to therapies and thus avoid the need for invasive surgeries altogether. And considering the massive market share that Illumina has in sequencing, this would be really good news for them and can lead to the stock appreciating in price massively over the next couple of years. With that being said, the stock is currently trading at around $336, which is still a ways away from its 52-week high of $380. So I personally think this is a company with a ton of upside that you should definitely be adding to your watch list and consider investing in and holding for at least the next 5 years, in my opinion. Also, keep an eye out for when they report earnings for Q2, because with all the crazy stuff going on in the world right now, I wouldn't be surprised if their earnings are severely impacted, and it could lead to some really great buying opportunities. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Wait, I just can't do it. Tesla. Now, I know I said I won't talk about them, but I just can't help myself. Now, obviously, this is not an unknown company. In fact, it's probably one of the most talked about and controversial stocks out there. But I want to tell you something that Tesla is doing that not a lot of people are even aware of or realize, and I promise I'll keep this quick. So besides the fact that they are absolutely dominating in electric car sales, have the best tech, millions of die-hard loyal customers, an innovative, proven, fearless leader who also happens to tweet shit like this, and not to mention the potential to absolutely disrupt the ride-sharing industry forever and make companies like Uber obsolete with their future release of robo-taxis. Even with all that being said, one thing that I almost never hear anybody on YouTube talking about, probably because Tesla doesn't promote this too much as of now, is the absolute crazy innovations that they are doing in solar. So I'll keep this quick, but basically if you ever tried to install solar panels on your house to save money in the past, then you know the whole process can be just an absolute headache. Because not only do you have to sign a very binding, often extremely lengthy 20-year contract, or you'd have to pay thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of dollars up front. And not to mention, oftentimes you're left with some absolutely atrocious looking solar panels on your roof. But now, bam, here comes Tesla to disrupt yet another trillion-dollar industry. And they basically said, fuck those shitty solar practices. You want solar panels? Sure, no problem. We'll install them for free. And you won't ever have to sign any lengthy binding contracts. In fact, you can cancel at any time. Oh, and also, our panels don't look but ugly. So what's the catch? No catch. Elon and Tesla are just so confident that if you install their panels, you won't ever want to cancel. Because then that's basically you making a choice to deliberately pay the utility companies more money for energy. And to quote Elon Musk, that just bloody makes no sense. So that's pretty damn ballsy. Elon must be best friends with this dude, because they both got balls of steel. So look, I can go on and on about Tesla for days, but I'm just going to end it here. But to be honest, I haven't felt this confident about a company since way back when I invested in Amazon 7 to 8 years ago. And I've been investing in Tesla since they were trading at about $230 a share. And even now that they're trading at over $900 a share, I am still buying more shares. Because I think if you're looking at this company from a long-term perspective of 5 to 10 years, the price it's trading at today is an absolute steal. I see Tesla trading at $5,000 a share within the next 5 years. So I highly suggest, if you're not already invested in Tesla, to of course first do your own research and then consider at least getting a few shares soon. Because Tesla is just such a massive opportunity that you're not gonna wanna miss out on this. So anyways, that's really it for this video, guys. And if you found any value at all in this video, and I hope you did, please consider dropping a like. That would really help out this video and this channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. Also, comment down below which stock you guys are watching. Not only do I love talking to all of you, and I always reply to every single comment, but I might just make a video out of the stock you suggest. And make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because I release 1 to 2 videos every single week, sometimes at random days. And I always put my heart and soul into not only making them educational, but also entertaining. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your week. Peace.